I don't care about like, I don't want number one spots. It's just like, you know, 4 or 5 weeks ago, there was another guy that was not in the number one spot according to the entire world. And then next week, 2 weeks from now, when somebody else does it, all these discussions about, like I said, number ones and classics, and I don't care. I just want to make good music, and I just want you to enjoy it. And as long as we have that relationship for the duration of this career, I'm good. Like, I don't need to, like, I don't, you know. And maybe that's why people say I'm there, because I disconnect from it. You know, my uncle always told me something early in my life, which stuck with me, which is that while you're on the journey, you have to disconnect from the end goal. You know, because if you're just focused on some end goal, then you might get there, but it'll be hard to progress past that, because you're so focused on that one destination that it's like, you know, you maybe forget everything in between, and maybe you could have done more in between. He always told me, like, just be here right now, live right now, and do the best you can right now. Don't worry about what that end goal is. It's great to have goals, it's great to have dreams, but it's just like you get too attached to it, and sometimes it can be a self-destructive thing. So, I mean, I just kind of try to progress as much as I can, like right now.
I made a commitment very early on to just be myself, you know, and what really bothers me the most is the fact that, you know, sometimes I feel like I don't get enough credit, or I'm not making a big enough impact because I'm not enough of a loose cannon, you know, in situations like this where we're doing a one-on-one interview, or, you know, that people just want me to go off more and lose my composure, and then that way, you know, I guess maybe I would be like,
cooler,
make more headlines or be more iconic, but that's not me, you know. I'm a naturally poised individual. I don't want to just come out, you know, making mistakes.
How do I get better? I push myself really hard. I mean, I don't sacrifice, like, I try not to sacrifice any bar, you know. I mean, I'll sit there on the last two lines of a verse for 3-4 days if I need to, you know, just to figure out how to end it. You know, I want it to be cohesive. I always want the beginning of a verse to be strong. I always want the end to be strong. And I really spend a lot of time on bars, man, you know. Luckily for me, melodies come extremely easy, you know, knock on wood, like, but they do. I mean, I that is something that naturally, like, I just get in there and it starts flowing, and by, you know, 40 minutes in, an hour in, I have pretty much the direction I'm going in. But when it comes to raps, I spend a lot of time on it, and I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, you know, that's all off the top. I always want to outdo myself. I always want to outdo everybody else around me. I'm a very competitive person. I'm just quiet about it. I'm not really out there like talking about who I want to outdo. I'd rather just go and outdo it, you know what I'm saying, as opposed to just sitting back and being like, oh, you know, I don't need to tell you who I'm better than or who I'm trying to be better than. I just want to put my music out, and then you tell me who's better than.
Do you feel like you are successful?
Yes, I do. I always want more. I'm, for some reason, like, ready to go back and start working on new music tonight, even though everyone around me at the time seemed crazy to me. But when you start becoming a headlining touring act, and, you know, brands want to get involved with you, and you can go do private events and whatnot, it's, you know, you're capable of making it. And now I want to, you know, for sure, obviously keep touring, keep making music, but now I see that there's other ways, you know, as far as, like, you know, this global ambassador thing, as far as maybe starting, I want to invent something. I want to start a company. I want to do something that has maybe nothing to do with music. I have to push it as far as I possibly can.